Danny, many people, Jack, Villa fan, I'm with Danny in this. The conversation is the subject of the result, pure and simple. Many other factors come into it. And you would argue that is indeed the case.
You have to take a step back and look at it from the bigger picture and think, okay, was there progression? Has Gareth learned? Did he change the team? All this, he never makes tactical changes. I find that bizarre. When in his first game he walked in and dropped Wayne Rooney. Even during the Euros, played two fullbacks we never expected, then changed the formation, then tweaked it. In this tournament, tweaked it out a little bit, brought Kyle Walker back in. Everybody said he has no idea what he's talking about taking Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire was superb in this tournament.
So who comes out of the England group, would you say, with your credit? Maguire, Bellingham, Saka?
All of them. We did it this morning. I did it this morning on Sky this morning.
But all of them, all the players, or all of those three?
So which player was disappointing for England?
Are you saying that every player's reputation's enhanced?
I don't think any of those players played badly during this tournament.
Do you think Kane played well?
Some of his passing, some of his the way that he dropped in.
I want him as a centre forward, don't you? I want him up top scoring goals. I don't want him centre midfield, do you?
But that's sometimes you have to adjust, and that's the modern day game of the way the number 9 plays. When you have two wide players,
sometimes you have to sacrifice how the way you want to play. Giroud doesn't play that way. He plays up top, holds the line up higher, and England probably needed him to do that at times, but he didn't want to because he wants to get on the ball. And I think ultimately, Kane had a disappointing World Cup. I don't think he's had great tournaments in the last 2 or 3. He scored goals, I grant you.
Scored goals and got assists.
Yeah,
it's not bad for a centre forward.
Well, yeah, I mean you can make that argument. You're probably right to make some of it, but I don't think
missed the penalty.
That's not the narrative I'm running.
This, Danny.
No, but I'm saying, apart from that, he's created chances, he's assisted, and he scored goals.
What's the missing ingredient?
I agree with that.
What do England have to do? And I know it just can't be down to luck. What do they need to do that they haven't been doing? Mentally more clinical, mentally tougher. I think what you saw in this game when England went 1-0 down, they kept their composure. They didn't panic. They didn't allow France to get control. At half-time, clearly things were changed. They got hold of Griezmann. Griezmann was a real problem. Griezmann is a fantastic, intelligent footballer. You don't play for Diogo Simeone without being able to know the hard side of the game, the dirty side of the game. He managed to do all that, and he was a real pain because he was playing in an unusual position that we couldn't get to grips with to start with. Now, at half-time, that was tweaked, and they got hold of Griezmann in the second half and managed to stop that threat. Walker did a great job on Mbappe. Got past him once. Big deal. I mean, that's always going to happen. So you think, well, actually, we played well. We outplayed the French in the second half, created more chances, clinical finishing, slice of luck. Top-level sport is such fine margins. It happens.
Yeah.
I'm not going to mention the referee because he was hopeless. But if you get that penalty in the first half, that changes the game. If the first goal is disallowed, that changes the game. Some of the fouls on Saka at times, if players were been booked when they should have done, that would have changed the game.
But isn't it not fair to say that winning and only winning 2024 the Euros will do, as far as England fans are concerned?
And this is the problem that you have. This is as England manager.
The problem.
As England manager, the only ever time you will be considered to be done okay is if you win.
Right.
Well, that's got to be the case.
What case are you making then, Danny? What case? So basically, by your logic, Gareth Southgate should have a job ad infinitum. What divine right do we have to win?
No
one said you had a divine right.
So the managers that you employed, then you wanted to win the Premier League.
Of course, but also...
So when you didn't win the Premier League, you just sacked the manager.
But I also recognise, right, that if I didn't spend the kind of money that met the expectations of the other teams... But Gareth's got the best players in England, and we talk about this embarrassment...
Yeah, but they're not the best players in the world. That's the difference.
By your logic and by your argument...
Are they the best players in the world, Simon?
Morocco.
And neither are
Croatia.
And neither are the Croatians the Italians.
Croatia have got some few in there. They've got Ballon d'Or winner.
And Italian... Yeah, but you keep on talking
Brozovic.
On 1 minute you say an argument...
Perisic.
On one minute...
Look at what they've won.
On 1 minute
Look at the experience that they've got.
On 1 minute it's an individual player that doesn't create the winning of the team. The next minute, because it suits a different argument, you're saying, well, look what they've got. They've got a Ballon d'Or winner.
England
Make your mind up.
But they've got several. But they've got several in there.
We've had 3 tournaments, and Gareth Southgate, as England manager, as a matter of bleeding fact, has not beaten a side that everybody thought they wouldn't beat. Not one.
Well, name an England manager that has.
I couldn't care less about naming other England managers. I'm talking about Gareth Southgate.
But that's the point.
There's only one in the job at the moment.
So there's the arrogance that you have that we're English. We should beat teams that we don't deserve to win.
Progression, Danny.
But if you're saying we shouldn't beat them,
on paper, we shouldn't beat the French. In the game, we could and should have beat them.
So is that down to players or is that down to tactics?
Bit of both, I
or the
suspect.
manager?
Bit of both.
Why?
Because that's how football's played out, isn't it? Managers make effect changes, players deliver outcomes.
That's
the end of the game, isn't it?